years, and I co-wrote Healthy Mind and Body with him. And we love Isogenics. We love Cindy specifically, but Isogenics is really near and dear to our hearts. For Rod, he knew the Coopers way before Isogenics. And when they called us and we started working with them, it just was such a great reminder. I have like this white spot. It was such a great reminder that, you know, they're really good people, because the first conversation I ever had with them, we were sitting in a room, and Jim, he comes in and he goes, I have people that are losing all this weight and then gaining it all back. And not only do I have that, I also have he's like, well, this is more confusing. He's like, I kind of figured that would happen if that happens, because people, their mind isn't ready for it. He said, but I have people that are becoming millionaires and losing more of the money than they had before. And they're actually becoming more in debt after getting all this money. And he goes, I'm really struggling with that one. Like, I don't want to be that network marketing company. I want to be a company that people are really proud of and that don't have those stories. And so I'm doing all the right things. I'm really working on that. And it's just, I cannot seem to stay ahead of it. And it was a moment where I was like, that is what a pure heart, you know, like, he's making lots of money, and he's growing this organization every day. And he's so worried about whether or not they're keeping it or not. He's like, should I shut down for a few months and not let anyone come in until we figure it out? Like, that was his initial thought. He was like, maybe we should just stop and have everyone have a moment and breathe. And we're like, no. We have to create a program, because, and you guys know this so well, that as you start to get things that you maybe didn't feel worthy of, or hoped would happen, but didn't expect it to ever really happen, you start to kind of sabotage yourself. And it's confusing. Like, why am I doing this? Or why am I starting to do things that I know aren't supporting me? And even more so as leaders, like, I'm not in the business technically. And what I can tell you is when I started becoming a leader, and I'm fairly young, and I'd had all these, you know, I was like, I don't know how to lead people. And then you start to just like pretend like you know what you're doing. You're like, yeah, we're going to have conference calls, and people are just going to get on, and we're going to get things done. And then you start just pulling from the people in your life, which my dad is a bad leader. So I was starting to pull from his references and pull from past bosses that I didn't even like, but I don't have any other references. And it's so important that you proactively choose how to be a leader. But how do you do that? You can read so many books, but it's understanding what's the right way to be, and the way to be right for everyone, not just certain people. And what I've found with Rod, and why Cindy's brought us on this call today, is that the most interesting aspect is when you start to grow, you have to learn how to work with people more. And network marketing is the only industry that isn't going to be replaced by computers. It's the only one. So where people are like, well, that's silly. That's, you know, you guys are just being crazy and you're just annoying people. No, I'm being smart, because I'm the only industry that cannot be replaced. It's the real truth, because everything else is slowly but surely going away in different ways. And the people that are able to align with others and are able to motivate people and help them become who they've always wanted to become, those are the people that are going to be the most successful. And so this event was created because we were working with Jessica Johnston, who's another leader, and she was working really, really hard, and she was going at it all these hours of the day. And Kathy got on one of Rod and Jessica's coaching calls, because they were coaching. And she goes, you guys, I need Jessica to get 50 people in a room from her downline. And I really want them to learn how to step out from underneath her and step up, which really means, instead of pulling people up a mountain with you, help them stand up alongside you and grab arms and walk up the mountain together. But you have to learn how to do that from an internal, personal, how do I do that for myself? Believe I can do that, believe in my leadership, believe in my capability. And then how do I help people do that for themselves interpersonally? So I see that Rod was able to join us. I'll let him speak too, because this is his pride and joy in this event. So, hey, Rod.
Can you see me?
We see you. Can
you see me?
No.
Can you see me now?
We can.
How about now?
Oh, you're funny. Thanks for getting on our call.
Guys, I've been trying to get on for like the last 10 minutes. Sorry.
That's all right.
We go from one device to another. So how are you?
We are great, and we're so excited you're coming to Ohio. So I'm recording this because we have a lot of people that work during the day. I have a couple people sneaking lunch breaks to see you today. So I really just wanted you to share. Gosh, I've done Healthy Mind and Body with you. I've done, it was called Transform You when it first came out. That is Healthy Mind and Body. We got that at Top Achievers a couple years ago.
So that's the 45-day life balance program.
Oh, okay. I thought I couldn't remember if it was different. And then I did Growth Mastery and the 4 Colors of Influence, and of course the Top 50 program. So I'm a huge fan, and most of my people at least know you through Healthy Mind and Body. So what I really wanted you to share with them is what you'll be bringing to Ohio for this event, why they should have it on their calendar and get registered today, and the growth that they'll see in themselves and then in their business from coming to this great event.
Yeah, and I'll just say, and I think Molly did a great job, it's more of an experience than it is a training program. And so, again, our job is we know what we need to do, we just don't do what we know, right? We know we're in a world now where there's nothing new. It's just a matter of the accountability. So I like to kind of just talk about it where I know that in order for me to grow to the next level, anytime I want to grow, anytime I want to take my life to the next level, I recognize that I have a program. I have in my thermostat in my mind, I have a set locked position on that thermostat of success. And so I remember in my life thinking let's look at the financial parts of my life. I remember consistently thinking I need to get to this level of income, $15,000 a month. And I just remember really putting my energy there, my focus there. And when I finally got there, I stayed there. So no matter what happened, if I got an account that was a $100,000 account, then my mind would find a way to sabotage every new thing to stay at $15,000. It didn't matter how much work I did, it was like I always ended up back at that position, and I would try new strategies and new tactics and new ways, but I couldn't expand it because my identity wasn't expanded. And I remember getting to 20 and then 30, and then I finally figured it out. Wait a minute. I got to work on the interpersonal aspects of who I am first. And so many people miss that. So many people miss that it's always identity. And we get invited. We're in talks right now with the NFL. We worked with a lot of Division I football programs, and every one of these coaches wanted to know the same thing, just like the NFL is asking the same question. Why is it that these geniuses, these people that can get their minds to create these advanced equations, right? And we know through Z Health and all of these other new developments that the brain completely controls the body. In fact, the body doesn't even feel any pain. It's the brain that feels the pain. It's the brain that determines everything. And we know that these geniuses that can get their bodies to jump and move and throw fastballs faster than anybody else and actually anticipate where a puck is going before the person goes there, we know that the vast majority of these players are going to end up financially broke, even though they have millions. We know it. We know that a lot of them are going to be homeless. Why? Because they don't have the identity for wealth, yet they have a lot of money. So this program is around identity. And I just, again, remember being in Tahoe and just listening to Jim Coover and Kathy Coover and really thinking about, identity. Strongest force in human nature is to stay consistent with the identity you hold of yourself. And in order to develop and build your identity, you have to make a decision to grow. You have to make a decision to step outside of your comfort zone and realize that it is impossible for you to know everything. You can feel everything. I love people that turn emotion into certainty. You know, some people, I remember being on a plane with somebody recently. It was their first time on an airplane. They had never left their state. Yet they could tell me everything about the world. I was like, well, I just came back from Budapest. Were you terrified? They want to kill. I'm like, what are you talking about? But they needed their certainty. So one of the things that you're going to learn as a leader is that you have to learn how to thrive in uncertainty. You have to recognize that there's a zero thing. There's nothing certain that's outside of you. Everything inside of you is what you need to look for and need to develop. So we're going to do a lot of work interpersonally. We're going to work on how we communicate with ourselves, how we turn fear into power, how we get past this whole notion. If you want to continue to care about what other people think about you, so much so that it paralyzes you, then this is not the training for you. If you're ready to get over that, and I promise you, you will, because when you leave this training, it's not going to make any sense. The people that would judge me, why would I care what they think anyway? Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. I could care less what you think about me. That's none of my business. All my job in life is to add value to you. That's all I think about and care about. What you think about me is irrelevant. That's your business. You hold it. And hopefully it's good, because that can support your nervous system and your body. But that's going to be a big one for a lot of people that need to break that pattern. That is a very, very silly pattern. We're here to offer value, not to protect ourselves from people that will judge us, right? Especially when you're coming from a place of love. So we're going to really, really work on that. Then we're going to work on interpersonal aspects. You guys are going to love this because you're going to learn how to deal with the different styles of people. In other words, you're going to learn why and how people deal with uncertainty the way they do. What we're offering people, and Isogenics especially, is we're offering them a better health, a better life of health, a better life of energy and performance. We're offering them financial stability, financial support. For some people, financial freedom. These are the things that we're offering. Well, if they don't have these things, if I don't have health or the body I want, and I got all of this information in the world of saying they're the right way, then you bring an uncertainty to me. That's all you're bringing. And if you're going to bring uncertainty to me, please help me deal with it until I can go and deal with it myself. And that's our job as leaders, right? That our job is to learn how to align before we seek to redirect. Because we're redirecting people. Guys, we have to stop believing that we're the only answer in town. Isogenics products are phenomenal. And the company is great. And the culture is great. And there's other things. There's other things that people can do. People can go to Whole Foods. They can do. And we, instead of fighting those things, let's create a magnificent culture so that we give people the opportunity to perform. And that's what this company needs to be about. It needs to be the easiest company to change, grow, and expand. That's what we need to really focus on. Not trying to convince people that everything we have is the only place in the whole world that you can get this stuff. That's when we get in trouble. Okay? Whether that's true or not, how can you convince people when you get online and everybody says they have great things? Do I have to be a PhD before I can pick a company to get healthy? I mean, and that's, how do I know? So sell performance, sell change, sell culture, sell connection, sell support. That's what we need to do. And then the third thing we're going to learn and really work on is we're going to learn influence. We're going to learn that we're consistently a source of influence. Personal brand. That's all influence is. What is my brand as a leader? And what does it need to be to offer value.
Don't mess with me, Ricky. You
Speak back to him.
Sorry.
That's okay. Right? So to offer that personal brand, to offer that opportunity to really, really add value at the highest level. That's what we're going to learn. You're going to learn that all in 2 days, and then we're going to spend 6 weeks together integrating it, right? And making sure that we're doing this. Now, here's the thing, and this is the whole program is built around the 5 abilities that go with growth. And if you're in growth mastery, you're familiar with these. Accountability is number 1. So it's going to be a really interesting 2 days. You're not going to sit there and just take notes. It's an experience. So I tell you, it's an experience. And you leave there very different than when you came into the room. But it's the way it's your vision, your goals, not mine. So whatever you say you want to be more like, we put you on a path of going into becoming that person, right? So accountability is key. And the cool thing about accountability is you have to be accountable to people. And a lot of times we get into this business, but we all are accountable. We all are accountable at every level. Is that you again, Cindy?
Yeah, sorry. I've got pretty much everything in here.
You're busy. It's just a sign that, I'm saying good stuff. That's how you know it. The second thing I want you to think about is I want you to think about the responsibility. So once we decide to be accountable to each other, to hold each other accountable to our highest standard, to give permission to people in the room to hold you accountable to being your best, right? And to proactively allow that accountability instead of letting accountability be reactive when you cause so much crap that people are going to hold you accountable to support you. Let's do it proactively. The second one is responsibility. Taking back your ability to respond. And guys, some of us are stuck there because we've just gone through so much tough crap, right? We got these patterns that are like really, really, really weighing us down, and we know it. It's like you can see it. You're so close that you can see it. But man, you can't get rid of this pattern. We have to take back our ability to respond. That's what that means. We have to understand it is maybe not our fault, but it's always our responsibility. Always. Your creator endowed you with 10,000 billion of the most complex brain cells in the universe as far as we know. We use less than 10% of our potential consciously, less than 10% in the areas of memory, creativity, problem solving. We are amazing. And this is why we're always going to continue to grow and evolve and go to the next level. The next Olympic Games, all of the records, not all, but the majority of the records are going to be broken. And it's going to be that way as long as men and women are on Earth. And it's going to be that way emotionally, intellectually, physically. We're going to grow to the next level. You cannot go back. And the whole illusion of thinking you can be safe and go back, you become the problem. You have to freaking grow. You have to grow. And so people are holding on to the old and holding on. And I see this happen all the time, even in their business. My uncle knows everything. Everything. His life sucks. He's got to borrow money, yet he knows everything. And respectfully, I have to sit there and listen to a bunch of bull caca because you want to respect the old dude that speaks with a lot of conviction but doesn't know anything, right? So if we're interested in improving and increasing our results, we have to take responsibility to grow. You guys get to decide that. I'm going to show you the models, and I promise you every minute is going to be packed full. In fact, we always get this, and you can hold me accountable to it. The first hour, people say, okay, the whole investment is worth it. In the first hour, we got 2 days together. So, and this is why we added on to 6 weeks, because people are like, this is way too powerful of an experience for 2 days. What do I do? So we're going to support you with that. Step 3 is flexibility. Please come with an open mind. I'm not going to, again, we're not going to get into tactical things, or especially off of the bat. Second day we will, or strategic things, or what you should believe. We're just going to tell you how the mind works. And we're going to tell you in a way that's very, very intuitive. And we're going to tell you in a way that you can look and say, I've done all of the things that we're talking about. And you still need to be flexible. Flexibility is youthfulness. It's life. Rigidity is death. And again, and I'm a little tough with this because I just see so many people, especially in my family and in the world right now, even in our country, that's so freaking rigid. It's arrogance. It's arrogance. You can't know everything. I was in the special forces for 11 years. I've gone all around the world. I've worked with the CIA. I've worked with the DEA. I go overseas now all the time. I've traveled with Robins. I've worked with billionaires. I have a billionaire partner that owns 10% of my company, Envision You. And and it's so funny because I got a call after this with a guy that owns 71 offices around the world. And consistently, we say we don't know anything. The more I learn, the less I know, right? The less I understand. And I have to be okay with that. So, I mean, everybody needs their certainty, but please understand that that is your certainty. That has nothing to do with the world. And so if you want to lead and grow and go to the next level, courage is the ability to open your mind to different possibilities for you. You have to be flexible. Have to be. Right? And so we're really going to push you in flexibility when you come to the event, because it's the only way to grow. It's the only way to promote life and to promote more life force, right? And that's what we want to, when we show up as leaders, we want to be the leaders that people say, I'm afraid right now, but I can follow you. That's leadership. All right. And that's what I have to do in the event. I have to be the example of that. Okay. The next ability, which is very important, probably the most important, is capability. You know, so many people, they talk, I love this, in every one of my programs, I'll say, what is the capability of a human being? And inevitably, even if it's a celebration where there's 15,000 people, people will go, infinite. And then they'll leave the room doing the same old crap, thinking the same old way, doing nothing different. So if you really believe that you have that type of capability, what are you doing? Right? Do you really believe it, or is it just something really cool to say? Right? So we're going to really, really, really expose that. And you're going to notice that when you start stepping outside of that comfort zone, it's a little uncomfortable. But man, is it really, really exhilarating. And you'd be amazed at how much strength you have that's there to support you when you step outside, when you develop that courage. But you have to first believe that you're capable of that next step. You're capable of growing to that next level. So any people that you know, and you know, I see this with you. Like I see this with, and I know some of you, I know Cindy. Every time I see Cindy, I love Cindy's face, right? Her face is strong and it's beautiful, but it's wise. And her capability is just incredible. And I always speak to it. And I had one person at Isogenics come up to me and they said, you know, I really want to coach with you, but I figured out who you are. And I said, well, who am I? They said, well, you compliment everyone. And I'm like, okay. And they said, well, if I coach with you, I don't want some bull crap. I don't want you giving me compliments like you give everybody else. I want the truth. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. And she said, so what do you think? I said, well, you're butt ugly and dumb. So let's start there. She goes, what? I said, you're butt ugly and dumb. Does that help? Should I go? And you have big fat ankles. You're skinny, but your ankles are disproportionate to your body. Is that running your family or something? Is something you can do about that? Because if we're going to coach, you need to wear long pants so I can't see those big old fat ankles. Bad enough we have to see your butt ugly face. And she was just tearing up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? None of those things are true, but this is some way you were raised. Every compliment I gave you, you call a compliment, I call it a truth. I see capability. That's what I choose to look at. You go get another coach if you need to be beat up to feel good around. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time for it. Life's too freaking short. We can all focus on the negative. You always can focus on what's not good about you or what's not here. There's not another person on earth that's like you. Your gifts are your gifts. I choose to see those. So go find somebody that will comment on your ankles and your face. I'm going to choose to talk about what's great. And I repeated the compliments I gave her the first time and told her that she needs to find a different coach. Okay? So just kind of know that's our training. You never attack a person. You can make a lot of money by beating people up because some people just like that type of behavior, right? That's not our training. Our training is to identify your patterns, attack those, but always speak to your gifts. Always speaks to what makes you different, you unique. And then maybe you'll stop comparing yourselves to other people because you can focus on why you're here, what your leadership style needs to be. Everybody's got their way. Find yours. Or beat yourself up when you're not just like Cindy, because you're not going to be just like Cindy. Does that make sense, guys? And then ultimately, vulnerability. And vulnerability is letting go of these silly, immature patterns that served us at one point. There are some patterns I have as a little boy that served me, and it got me through some tough times. But I'm a freaking grown man now, and I gotta let those patterns go. They've been there to support me through tough. Success would come and go, confidence would come and go, enthusiasm would come and grow, happiness would come and go. But man, sadness was always there. Insecurity never left. And even though I don't like what they give me, they're consistent. So some people have a tough time allowing their patterns to leave. Forgiving themselves, giving up hope of a better past. That's what forgiveness means. Giving up hope of a better past. You can't have a better past. Make a beautiful present, and that present will give babies to you, which is the future, which are beautiful. Right? So I want you guys to kind of think about that. We owe that to our teams to do that. What is your way? And vulnerability is allowing that to go, not owning the negative things. It's so interesting how I watch people hide everything that we can see, right? They think that by hiding it or locking their patterns in a closet, no, open the door. They're not yours. You didn't, if you don't want it, it's not yours. If it's not part of your vision, it's not yours. If it doesn't support what you want on a consistent basis, it's not yours. If you don't want it to be part of your identity, it's not yours. And vulnerability is letting it go. Just opening the door and saying, here's what it is, and it's out. You'd be amazed at how you disarm people. People have a real tough time talking about you when it's out. It's not mine. I don't want to be this way. It's out. Right? It's out. Well, we're going to create that space at the event for ourselves and everybody else, and we're going to do it beautifully. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Everything else is a secret.
That's great. Well, I know the event that I got to come in Toronto for was absolutely amazing. And I just saw breakthrough after breakthrough. And it was just such a beautiful, life-changing event. So I keep telling my team, and I really want them to be there for this because so many people, it shocks me, into adulthood carry stuff from childhood and they can't move past it. And it's such deep stuff that it really hinders them in their business. And it's like, if they can't break through this stuff now, when will they ever? And I really think this is their opportunity if they've got anything they're holding on to. And not just for people that need breakthroughs either. Like, I feel like I've really broken through. I've been doing a lot of coaching for a lot of years. So when I came to your event, it wasn't like I had this magical breakthrough for myself, but what it really helped me with was seeing it in other people. And boy, it took my leadership skills to the next level because I was really watching what you did and thinking, how can I emulate this with my team? Because people that had these breakthroughs are people that are on my team, are on everyone on this call's team. So it was so impactful. I'm so thrilled you're coming. And I just wonder, does anyone have any questions that you guys want to ask Rod? Anyone want to unmute? I muted a lot of you, so you'll have to unmute yourselves.
I just want to verify the date because I'm looking at the flyer. Is it the 8th and 9th of September or the 9th and 10th?
I thought it was the 9th and 10th. Molly, are we right? 9th and 10th Saturdays.
9th and 10th, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you.
9th and 10th.
Okay.
Yep. So over a weekend. So for anyone that works, it won't even mess up your work schedule. Awesome. Any other questions? All right.
I have a question.
Do you?
Rod, is this program worth it? It absolutely is.
Absolutely.
And I want you to recognize that it is 10 times the value. Really? Yes.
Yeah.
Great question.
How about Molly? Can you share that? Don't you guys have a payment program too? So that makes it super easy.
Yeah. So, I was actually going to add some things, and I love how Rod talked about it today. It was really great summary. The 2 days is so.
Every month, $1 was coming off Jay's credit card for Isogenic.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
No, you're good.
People get unmuted. I don't know how it happened.
No, it's we have installment plans. It's really important to us for the event, and so you'll see in the link you can do up to 10. I think it's up to 10 installments. So really, really flexible. And that's why we're doing it this far out. So you can really support that and support people on your team. And I actually just got off another call with the top 50 group. And what's really, really interesting is we were on our last week, our 6th call after integrating for 6 weeks. And a few of them had said, I'm so glad I brought someone from my team or a family member. I had a few people bring like their aunt or their friend or their husband, because it's so powerful and we're going to go through so much, and it's such an intimate room that to go through that with someone on your team or someone who maybe just joined the business. We had someone who was only 3 days into the business, but guess what? I mean, all of this stuff that we're talking about, you don't have to have been in the business for even that long to have to break through some things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some beliefs, some self-worth, some of the major blockages when you start a business as an entrepreneur and as starting a company. It's kind of your own thing. And a lot of us have never done that. So it's a really special experience to bring someone. I would highly recommend bringing someone with you. And I know, Cindy, you traveled with someone too, and it made it the experience having that person there to really support you on top of the 6 weeks of coaching is really an impactful way to go into this event. So I really do recommend trying to get as many people from your team or potential people. And we've had people that aren't even in Isogenics come, because what we're talking about is principle based, which means it applies to anyone at any level in any company. And it can really, what we find is most of those people end up joining Isogenics because you guys are so great. So it's a great tool for that too. And I don't know if you want me to, Cindy, but I can tell some cool stories from some of the top 50s that we've been to, just to give you some insight into what people have broken through that maybe isn't as drastic as it sounds.
Sure.
Okay. When we were in, my favorite story, and Rod's heard this one before, but when we were in Phoenix, we had a woman named Mary, and she lives in Flagstaff, which is up in the mountains in Arizona. And she had come down to the event, and she was sitting in the front second row, and she was really quiet the whole weekend. And we were in the 6 weeks of coaching, which was what people have made us do practically. After the first top 50, they were like, you cannot leave this room until you help us, because this was too much information. And so we created this 6 week of integration to support, because we can get on coaching calls and get you back in your home environment and continue to make changes. And we were on I think it was the second week, and we talk about making decisions. And she made a decision to stop picking up all the product for her downline, which for us, she would drive 2 hours down to Arizona, pick up all the product for her downline, drive it back like Santa, and deliver it on their front doorstep like a little elf. And to us, we're like, yeah, duh, stop doing that. But to her, she was so caring and loving, and she was like, I'm going to stop doing it. I decide to no longer do that. And it was really hard on her, because people started to kind of lash out, right? They're used to that, and now you're not doing it. But 3 weeks later, when we were on the last week, she got on and she looked like a totally different person. And I said, what's going on, Mary? And she goes, I have gone from 1 star to 3 star, because I didn't realize that I was so aware of how much time it took to deliver their product that I wasn't allowing myself to bring in more people. I didn't even know I was doing that, but I wasn't bringing people in because I didn't think I had the time to handle more people. Which, think about, if any of you are feeling like I'm already have a lot going on and I have this many people, try tripling that. And what's going to happen to my relationships, my kids? Like, I got a lot going on. And sometimes you have to recognize that in order to get where you want to go, you got to really deal with how you feel right now. And so that's what we really worked on is, okay, you can do it, and you're going to have to do it differently, but you're going to unlock and unleash your capability if you're able to really recognize the habits, the beliefs, the purpose that you have are all in alignment with your vision. Your capability will unlock itself. And it's my favorite story, because it's like such a little thing that sounds really obvious to us. And it's not like she had massive baggage in her life she needed to unpack. It was just a habit that seemed like a sweet habit, but it was holding her back, and it changed her business, changed her family. And all of us can do it. We just have to sometimes go through 2 days together with an intimate setting with Rod and really dive in. And the amount of things we can uncover is really, really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough for getting on and sharing with everyone today. I did record this. I'm going to share it with some other leaders too. So we'll probably have some team members not on our own team that'll get to join us as well, because we're super close to an airport. So I wanted to invite some of our other friends throughout the company. But we are so excited for this event in September. Can't wait to get you here, Rod.
Can't wait to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you have any more questions, just let me know and I'll field them. And if I need help from Molly and Rod, I will ask them and get back to you guys as soon as I can. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks,
all right.
Mary. Thanks,
come
everyone.
ready to grow, everyone. Bye-bye.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.